Alright, so this is going to be my final video for my engine playlist. Alright, so what I've got so far on my to-do list is show you PW MathTools, colors, and documentation. So let's just go ahead. Alright, PW MathTools done. It's pretty easy, so all I'm doing is intersecting. Not a singleton, this is just a static function here. And then we're doing all of the math that you taught us way back when. Okay, so we've got color.h, color.cpp. Again, extraordinarily simple. All this is doing is just giving the user some access to black, white, light gray, dark gray, blue, and red without having to actually figure out the RGBA values for all those colors. Okay. Yeah, so that does it for the math tool and the colors. Alright. So, documentation. So I've got my full class list here, obviously. So I'm just going to start out with game objects, since that's the one that I documented most heavily, I believe. I want to say this is the one I did the most work on. Yeah, so I'm pretty much just explaining everything that the user is actually going to touch. I guess I didn't bother being redundant for the alarms here, but I'm explaining that there are 4 alarms available and each corresponding to a number, giving examples for how to use collision, since that's kind of an unruly thing. I honestly could have written, I should have written a friggin' page on collision, just to make sure that the user's doing it right. On key press examples, really dumb AI doesn't exist, that shouldn't be there. So yeah, various examples for various functions that the user is likely to call a lot. So yeah, I also have it for all of my managers. Yeah, so it's basically just getting load for the managers, obviously. So I'm specifying that this should be done in load resources in the Mecanum engine only. And I really like that it actually gives you a link there. That's very convenient. Yeah, so for all of the resource management stuff, I have all that documented for the asset managers. So just close out of those two. All right. So this is, which one is this one? Texture manager. Oh, I wanted, let's see, Mecanum engine. Okay. So game initialize example, window height, window width. Yeah, so I was just trying to hit everything that the user was likely to touch. So obviously this is pretty bare bones at this point, because I honestly just saved this for last because I was running out of time. But I have like the most vital things, I think. Like the absolutely most vital things, like the game object and the main engine scene and the load resources. I have that documented. But in terms of like instructions, most of that was in game object, and that's kind of the majority of it. A lot of this is just like your basic descriptions, honestly. So yeah, there's definitely a lot more work to be done here if I want the user to have a full understanding of this engine. Yeah, so that about does it for the actual documentation that I've done. So I've got it mainly in just game objects and engine, and then all of the what is it, asset managers. And I believe I put some things in scene as well. Let me just scroll through here real quick. Okay. I know I actually documented this in Visual Studio, but I don't think it actually showed up in this HTML. So, Alright, we'll just skip over that. Yeah, geez, this massive UML diagram. Okay, I think that about does it. That is the last thing on the to-do list. So, I am extraordinarily tired, and hopefully I will see you next quarter. Have a good one. Good luck grading.